Okay. So we started to record. It is a little after 11 here on Wednesday, May 13th. Uh, not to beleaguer the date, but yeah, it's been 2 months since we've last been in person. All of you should have successfully been able to complete the AP exam on Monday. If you have questions about the test itself, whether you were not able to access it, whether you had tech issues, you've submitted for a retake or a makeup exam request, please reach out to me individually. The point of this video and the point of our time here together is to kind of wrap up some things, kind of go over the schedule for the next 2 weeks, some expectations therein, and we'll go from there. So go in here just to the schedule itself. So today, guys, we're meeting at 11 a.m. I wanted to give you yesterday off just to rest and recoup. Um, we talked a little bit about, it does seem that everyone had not necessarily a different question, but there was a bank of questions, which is great, which is what we wanted to see when you're doing an at-home open note test. As far as final grades are considered, here is where we are going. Okay, so I have your grades as updated as they could have been yesterday. Okay. Where they are is where they are right now. I am giving everyone, no matter if you've been here every day or you ghosted me on the 13th, if you are 1/2 of a percentage point away from the next grade up. So for example, you're at an 89.5, a 79.5, a 69.5, a 59.5. I am rounding you that 1/2 percentage point. So everyone is getting the 0.5% bump. That being said, okay, you have the option to complete this project, and it's called Living History. If you complete the Living History project, I will increase your grade 1 percentage point. So we don't have a 3% project, but that is something that we can do. I've given out points for people participating on these things, but where they are right now, the ability to round up to 1.5 percentage points is available to you. This is completely optional. If you decide that this is your last time, then that's totally up to you. But let's look at this Living History project here really quickly. So this is a project that's been put together by Miss Denman in the library, and the purpose of it is to create and collect what we're calling a primary source. So much like when we do 9/11, or we look at newspapers from the moon landing, or magazine articles, or you're touching, a reprint of Federalist 10. That's a primary source. When you're using the primary, author's voice and vision for history and research purposes, that's what we are doing. If you haven't had a chance to look, she has a little Spark page for this project. I think it's pretty great. Wait for it to pop up. It's pretty cool. So it goes into, obviously, there's Miss Butler, and she got interviewed on Colorado Public Radio, and she's on the news. And we looked at some artwork and some murals being painted in Denver. This poor guy. STEM teachers printing masks. Here's the Zoom thing that the teachers did. Some meetings with Governor Polis. But the purpose of this is to kind of collect first-person narrative, student voice about what we've been doing and what you've been doing at home over the past few weeks. There are 4 different kind of options that you can explore. The first is a personal narrative, which is kind of like a journal entry, about 500 to 700 words, polished journal entry. Like, okay, I've had some people that, really are into poetry. I've kind of in this whole time turned to some poems written during World War I, written during the Civil War, that I've kind of turned to. And I think some of that voice is pretty interesting to read. So you could write a poem. For those of you who are much more artistic than I, you could do a dramatic monologue. Some people I've seen have been writing music or performing covers of songs or creating a video. I have a lot of you guys are really, really gifted and you know, take kind of what you've been doing on TikTok or Instagram Live or your YouTube channels and Twitch and all that stuff, and maybe make a video about it. And then this artwork, drawing, paintings, photography, sculpture, a comic strip. Basically, there's all sorts of avenues and pathways that you could take to complete this project. And then here are some, you know, prompts that you could use. So maybe you read through these prompts and kind of use that to spark your project. You know, what are your must-haves for sheltering in place? You know, what has made you laugh? What has brought you peace and comfort? There's all sorts of different prompts there, or you could add something in there as well. Miss Denman has it due at May 22nd. I'll show you back here. What I'd like to do is have this due Thursday night, May 21st. Through Canvas. I've opened up Canvas. You could submit anything on there, any file type, whatever, through Canvas, due next Thursday. Then that way I can pass that along to Miss Denman. Obviously, you want to, you know, if you're going to write something, you want to make sure it's really polished. That photograph, like, this is not 3 sentences going, I think I deserve a 1%. Like, you really want to spend some time over the next week really making this awesome. And the only thing that's required is this release form. It basically says that Miss Denman has your permission, your family's permission to gather this, that she wants to kind of put all of these things together into a database and eventually maybe a published book that would be inside of our library. And the point of this is not for you. The point of this is the class of 2040 that's coming up, and they're going to be in school, and they're going to be in US history, or they're going to be, you know, in their English classes or whatever, and they're going to be writing about the pandemic of 2020. This would be a primary source document that they would use. Veronica says, we only have to submit it to you and not Mrs. Denman. If you submit through Canvas, I'll pass everything along to her. If you would like to just share it with her as well, go right ahead. I just didn't want to add another step to you. But I would like it shared with me so I can make sure that I have this. And yes, I know some classes have already assigned it, and some other classes might have already done this. You do not need to duplicate. You can turn what you've done already into me, and good for you. But again, this is a primary source document that's going to be used to, you know, not, like I said, not for you. It's for your kids when they are researching the pandemic and writing papers and doing projects and presentations about it. This would be a source that they could use. Next Wednesday, kind of our last official meeting, just kind of a check-in on projects, final grades, and any other sort of last-minute items. That'll be our kind of our official last meeting. And then Thursday, the final project would be due. And then Friday, May 22nd is your last day. I will tell you right now that I am going to be kind of collecting and forming an email list of your emails, your Douglas County emails, your parents' contact information, because what I don't want to have happen is next Friday goes and then we just disappear and we never talk to each other ever again. I'd like to maybe kind of keep in touch over the summer, just with fun stuff, whether you want to engage or not. I just like to be able to kind of keep in touch with you guys, make sure everything's going well, and, you know, keep you updated if you have any questions. And just, you know, to be clear, if there are people that are looking, I'm going to leave the remote learning page up, but I don't know how long you'll have access on Canvas, if it just shuts down or whatever, but I have the schedule for this week. I have all the videos that we created. And then again, all of those resources that we put together. I'm just going to leave this up for the time being. So before I end recording, if you're watching this on YouTube or watching a recording of this later, if you have any questions about what has been brought up, please shoot me an email, let me know. Otherwise, we will reach out and touch base with each other next week.